If someone suddenly asks you for your certificate of occupancy and you have no idea where to find it, you're not alone. Most homeowners in Los Angeles never think about this document until they actually need it. And when that moment comes, whether you're selling your home, dealing with permits, or responding to a buyer's request, it can feel overwhelming. The good news is that finding your certificate of occupancy, CO, is usually straightforward once you know where to look. And even if it's missing, there are still solutions. Let's walk through everything step by step so you can handle it with confidence. What a certificate of occupancy actually is. A certificate of occupancy is an official document issued by the city after a building has been inspected and approved. It confirms that the property meets all local building codes and is safe to live in or use. Think of it as the city's final approval stamp. It means the construction or renovation was completed properly, inspections were passed, and the building is legally allowed to be occupied. In Los Angeles, this document is issued by the Los Angeles Department of Building and Safety, LADBS. Any new construction and most major renovations require a CO before the property can be used. For older homes, things can be a little different. Some properties built decades ago may have paper records that were never digitized. Others may not have a formal CO on file at all, especially if they were built before modern record-keeping systems. Why this document matters when selling. Many homeowners only hear about the certificate of occupancy when they're already in the process of selling. A buyer, agent, or title company may request it as part of due diligence. It becomes especially important if your property has a room addition, a garage conversion, a major renovation, structural changes. If all work was done with permits and inspections, the CO should exist. But if work was done without permits, the absence of a CO can raise red flags. This doesn't always stop a sale, but it can slow things down or affect the buyer's confidence. That's why it's smart to check your records early before your home hits the market, where LA City building records are stored. In Los Angeles, certificates of occupancy and building records are managed by LADBS. Over the years, they've digitized a large portion of their records, making it possible to search online. The main place to start is the LADBS Online Records portal, where you can access permit history, inspection records, final approvals. In some cases, digital copies of costs. All you need is your property address. However, it's important to know whether your property falls under City of Los Angeles or unincorporated LA County. City of LA properties use LADBS. Unincorporated LA County use County Building and Safety. They are separate systems, so using the correct one will save you time. How to search for your certificate of occupancy online. Finding your CO online is often the fastest option. Here's how to do it. 1. Go to the LADBS website. Visit ladbas.org and look for Property Activity Report or Building Records. 2. Enter your full property address. Be precise. Include street number, name, and city to get accurate results. 3. Review permit history. You'll see a list of permits pulled for your property along with inspection details. 4. Look for final permits. A final permit means all inspections were completed and approved. This is where a CO is usually tied. 5. Check for attached documents. Some records include downloadable files, including the company. 6. Download or save the record. If available, you can access it instantly. 7. Request records if needed. If nothing is attached, you may need to request copies from LADBS. What to do if you can't find it online. If your search comes up empty, don't worry. This is very common, especially for older homes. Many properties built before the 1980 have records stored only in physical archives. These documents were never digitized, so they won't appear online. Here's what you can do. Submit a records request through LADBS. Visit a local LADBS district office. Request archived property files. Processing usually takes a few weeks, and there may be a small fee. You can also check with the city clerk, the county assessor. Sometimes records are filed across different departments depending on the property's age and history. Quick guide based on property type. Home built after 1980, City of LA. Search LADB's online portal. Home built before 1980, City of LA. Request archived records. Unincorporated LA County property. Use county building and safety system, recent addition, or remodel. Check permit history under LADBS. No records found at all. Contact LADBS for next steps. What happens if your property doesn't have one? This is where many homeowners get concerned, but it's not the end of the road. If your property doesn't have a certificate of occupancy, there are still options depending on the situation. For older homes, you may qualify for a certificate of occupancy equivalent. This process allows LADBS to review historical data and current conditions to verify the home is safe and compliant. For unpermitted work, you may need to apply for retroactive permits, schedule inspections, or disclose the work to buyers. Some sellers choose not to correct the issue and instead adjust the sale price or terms. Cash buyers, vs. traditional buyers. Cash buyers are typically more flexible and may purchase properties without complete documentation. Traditional buyers using loans often face stricter requirements from lenders. Why it's important to handle this early. Missing documentation is one of the most common reasons real estate deals get delayed or fall apart. When you already understand your property's status, you avoid last-minute surprises. Build buyer confidence. Speed up the closing process. Have more control over negotiations. Even if your CO is missing, knowing that early gives you time to plan your next move. At the end of the day, finding your certificate of occupancy in Los Angeles isn't as complicated as it first seems. Start with the LADBS website. Check your permit history and request records if needed. And if the document isn't there, remember you still have options. The key is taking action early, so you're not scrambling later. If you're dealing with missing permits, no certificate of occupancy, or just want to sell your home without the stress of fixing paperwork issues, you don't have to figure it out alone. Reach out today and we'll walk you through your options. No pressure, just clear answers so you can move forward with confidence.